This week on the Reseller Locker Room podcast, we're going to be talking about the reasons you will fail as a reseller if you do not do these tips or you do not have these traits.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is episode number 39 here in the Reseller Locker Room. And joining me as always, bringing up the rear along beside me, Shane, Mr. Soda City Flips. And the Kingpin, he is so hot, he's a brand new member of KISS. Please welcome Chris E.Z. Pickens. Followed by our ominous leader, the Beard King Picker, Mr. Alex. What's going on, fellas?
Same old.
Did I just get promoted to the leader?
Yeah, you're the leader.
Wow. You're fired.
Good job.
You're
Good
fired.
job.
You're fired.
What?
Well, crap.
What's going on, guys? How's
Later.
everyone doing?
Good.
Good,
hot.
man.
It's hot.
Everything's good.
It is hot.
It's been
dude.
hot.
Holy
It's been hot,
crap. Is
hot
it
and
hot.
muggy.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you walk outside and you weigh more than you did when you were inside, it's hot. And that heat is heavy, man. Chris, I can't speak for California. I've only ever been to California one time. But out here, brother, that humidity, whew.
That
It's
humidity
heavy,
ain't
man.
nothing nice, man. I grew up around it. I grew up in Kansas, so I know all about it. We're lucky out here. Right now, you guys probably don't want to hear about the weather here because it's nothing compared to what you guys are experiencing. So I'm not going to torture you guys.
You'll be back for the 127 though. You might not be used to it. You might just pass out first day. You'll be done.
We
I'm
need
gonna
to carry some,
have two waters on my side.
I'll carry some smelling salts when you pass out. There, Hoss.
I'll pick for a half hour. I'll have to go take a break somewhere where there's air conditioning.
I'll be with you though. I'll just be in the truck waiting for you guys. You call me if you see any books and I'll get out. But if no books, don't waste my time.
You drinking
Hey.
Milo's?
Yep, sweet tea.
The sweet one? Yeah. Extra.
Nice. That's
Extra.
good, too.
I'm
For
drinking.
posterity, I want to record this
Sweet.
in this episode. The mighty University of Tennessee Volunteers won the college men's baseball World Series for the first time in school history. And yes, they have won a total of 60 games this ball season.
Wow.
And 52%, guys, since College World Series, they do brackets. Okay?
Yeah.
It ain't like Major League. They do brackets. They do SEC conference, then they do regionals, then they do super regionals, and then they go on to the World Series brackets. 52% of the runs that Tennessee scored were home runs.
Holy cow.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
it is amazing.
It's impressive.
Yeah. Got 5 of those players going to the big leagues. So, anyway, I had to put that in for the record.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
You gotta be excited.
it's football time now.
Uh-oh.
All right, Alex, what are
Yes.
what are we doing tonight?
We are talking about the reasons you're gonna fail as a reseller.
We're pissing off our viewers, basically.
Hey, we're giving tips though. If you're not doing certain things, you're not gonna make it in this business. So you can think it's rude, but it's the facts are the facts. So
Yeah.
I'll start off with my first couple tips. Is number one is self-motivation. If you do not have self-motivation in any business working for yourself, you're not going to make it. No one is calling you in to go to work to tell you to list. So you have to be self-motivated to keep this business going day in and day out. But that kind of self-motivation in anything is only going to get you so far. You have to develop dedication or discipline. So when your self-motivation runs out, you have to be disciplined. Regardless if you want to show up to work or not, you still got to get up and put up those listings, send off those orders, go sourcing when you don't feel like it. When it's 127 outside and 55% humidity, you still got to go out and go to the yard sales. Those would be the two main points I want to make. If you don't have those, you won't make it in reselling full time. If you guys agree with that,
I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I
mean,
can't speak for, full time because I'm nowhere near becoming full time. But yeah, I mean, I think you're exactly right.
well, like me,
Those
Shane,
are
you can
two
see
of the
what it
things
would
you
take.
need.
Sorry, man.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Like, I agree with you, man. I mean, we may not be full time, but we see what it will take to go full time, and we know Alex is speaking the truth on those 2 points for sure. I mean,
Yeah,
there ain't no
yeah,
denying it. From my standpoint, consistency across all aspects of the business. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I see the most is consistent listing, consistent on your eBay habits, on keeping your store up to date, taking care of your customers, checking on your messages. I mean, the list is very, very long, but you have to be consistent. I mean, listing and sourcing, those two go hand in hand. I mean, without sourcing consistently, you're not listing consistently, and without the motivation to list consistently, you're not going to do anything. I mean, I've had more zero sale days this year than I've had in the last 2 years, but I blame a lot of that into my listing habits during those little periods of time where I had zero sales. Well, I mean, there ain't no denying that consistency is the key.
Yeah. That's why you have to have that discipline. When you lose the self-motivation, you got to have that discipline there to continue listing.
Chris,
Right.
question about what you said. Did you say, you said it briefly, check your emails daily? Is that what you said?
Well, eBay messages, yeah.
Yeah. Alex has got a big fail at that.
See my emails, it's like 40 million. I think, yeah, it's like a couple hundred on eBay. Dumb questions, get no reply.
Have you eBay puts a timer
It's not
on your how long it takes you to respond to eBay messages, and Alex is like he never does.
I went back the other day and everyone said after 90 days you can't reply.
It's weird though, and not to go, too far off the rails there, but since you brought it up, the 90-day thing, I have a couple of messages that eBay has notifications by, right? It says I have two questions or whatever, 2 items with questions, but it's questions I've already answered. I've replied to, but they won't freaking disappear. But I did just realize there was a way to actually click that you did reply to them, but for some reason the system's not picking that up, and it's just weird to me. So I go to reply to them, and it says items older than 90 days or whatever you just said, Alex. But it's ones I've already replied to, but I want to just go put a period or a question mark or something and try to submit it and see if it goes away, but it wouldn't let me. So then I had to do a little more deep diving, and I found a way to click that you have answered those questions. So I just thought that was weird that it's telling me I have questions to answer, although I've already answered them or replied. It's weird.
I get the same thing.
Yep, same thing here. And the only way I figured out how to get rid of those rogue messages you're talking about, where like you click it, mark is answered, and it's still there. If the item's still available, if you end it and then sell similar, that'll go away, or at least it did for me.
Yeah, that takes care of it. Yeah, I've had to do that to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Quite annoying.
Very.
All right. Anybody got another? Alex has started us off. Who's got another? You got
consistency. Oh, that was covered.
He's like, yeah, that was.
I'm gonna go probably a different route than most people would think right away when it comes to failing. But customer service to me, answering those questions. The thing is, if you give poor customer service, if you're not describing your items properly, you're not quick to respond, things like that, it could lead to negative feedback, and those add up, and your potential buyers see that. They're not going to want to buy from you if you have a long list of negative feedback from previous purchases or transactions. So I think that's a big one. Good customer service. might bring return buyers to you. I have one or two people who are repeat buyers for the weirdest things that I sell, like strange things. But this one chick keeps coming back and buying what are they? Star Wars figurines that I have. And I give her great customer service. She comes back. If I was to, send her an item not as described and then, argue with her and things like that, that's a potential negative feedback. And she will never come back to buy from me again. But again, let those negative feedbacks keep coming. They stack up. People are going to stop shopping your store. So I think customer service is a big one.
Yeah, it's a good point. Very good point.
I figure that's something most people wouldn't think about when they're, why you may fail. And that's like one of those hidden ones that's not thought about.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's true.
Pile up fast.
Yeah.
Well, I've got one that's really, for me, it's the foundation, the cornerstone of why I'm even doing this business. Do I need to go big screen or can I stay where I'm at?
You could stay where you're
Go
at.
big screen. Oh.
Might as well have done with the rest of you. So anyway, you will fail whether you're full-time or whether you're part-time, whether you're a hobbyist at anything, not just reselling. If you do not have a reason why you're doing it, it could be paying off a credit card. It could be paying for kids' baseball league. You need the extra money to pay for that. It could be money to pay on your car payment. I don't know what your reasons are, but you have to have a why. Otherwise, none of this stuff that we're talking about on how to build your reselling business, how to do it correctly, how to be successful. If you do not have your reason why, you're not going to get motivated to list. You're not going to go out and try to source the right product to move them quickly. Customer service won't matter because your attitude's going to suck because you're just out here doing the motion and you're not putting the effort into caring about the customer experience after the sale if you don't have a reason why you're doing this business and what you're wanting to make that extra money for. So to me, guys, the why supersedes everything. Everything.
That's a good point.
It's true.
Yeah, because
you got it in your.
You hit it with me on the first example you gave, paying off credit cards, right? That's my whole purpose right now for all my reselling money, other than going to these events and doing things like that we're going to do with you guys at the 127. My main goal is to get out of debt. That's it. Get out of debt, keep my full-time job income to take care of myself and my family, but then reselling, I pay off my debt and just, financial freedom eventually. That's my whole goal. That's why I do it. YouTube can be the same thing, right?
Yeah.
We're not making tons of money. I literally make like $135 every, 2 months or something on YouTube. I'm not making content like I should be, but it's kind of the same thing. Reselling and YouTube money both go to buy credit cards and things like that. So you're absolutely right. If I didn't have that as a motivation, which touches back on what Alex said, you can use those things as motivation. But if I didn't have that motivation, would I really care to grind out? And you know what I mean? So that's a very good point. Solid point.
Yeah. You have to be passionate as to the reasons why you're doing this. And it has to really mean something to you. And it has to be a priority to achieve those things, whether it's paying off a car, credit card, whatever, having extra money to buy groceries, whatever it is. But try this. Try to change, those of you watching, and even you guys, try to change your thought process of how you think about things. And what I mean by that is, instead of saying to yourself all the time, like we all do, oh, I've got to list 5 items today. I've got to list 10 items today. I've got to go sourcing. Why don't you change your mindset to, I get to list 10 items a day. I get to go sourcing today, because when you say I have to, it makes it sound like a chore, and we all hate doing chores, right? At least I do. I mean, I don't got a wife that's barking at me to do anything, but when I did, I didn't like it.
I was going to say, you could ask my wife. She'll tell you I don't like to do it.
So instead of I have to do this, or I have to do, how about I get to do this? You know, just change how you think about things.
Especially sourcing. Sourcing should be fun, right? It shouldn't feel like a chore.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you know, the biggest thing I see in reselling, you're never going to make it if you don't love it, because it's a crap ton of work, man. I mean, it ain't really is. You have to be into it. You have to enjoy pretty much all aspects. I mean, you know, I don't enjoy the shipping part, but I get through it, you know. But yeah, if like, well, you said earlier, Ben, you have to be passionate about it, but you also have to enjoy it. You know, I mean,
yeah,
I can't imagine doing all this work, man, if it wasn't so satisfying for me, you know.
Very good point, Chris. Very good point. And let me say this real quick. You have to love this business, or it's just another job for you, because most people hate their jobs. So why do you want to even do this, what we're doing? Why do you even want to do it if you don't love and enjoy it? And I know there's days that you hate it. There's days I hate this business, hate it. And then there's days I love it. But your underlying factor has to be, you got to really love the whole process from start to finish, because that's the only way to keep your motivation. And the only way to keep your motivation is to have your why. Why are you doing it?
Because I don't want another job.
Yeah,
I want a real job.
I don't want to work for anybody. That's fine.
So
that is why. My why was like Shane. So when I first got into reselling, I was just trying to pay out debt, and then it became my full-time deal. So now my why is I gotta freaking support my family. So
yeah, circumstances change, right? And yours changed for the better. You were able to go full-time, and that means your circumstances changed and your priorities changed. So now your why changed, and you know that if you don't do your job every day, that you might not be able to go to the grocery store this week or whatever, you know. So yeah, I mean, as you progress through your business, your why will change for sure. I mean, now you're at the point now where it's your family or nothing, right? So you got to take care of your family, but something else may come up. You know, you may have to buy a new car. So now I got to take care of my family, but I need to grind out a little bit harder because now I got a new car payment I'm going to have to cover as well, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, I got the new engine payment.
Oh yeah.
All right, here's another one. Is kind of it comes down to knowing what your town has to offer when it comes to sourcing, knowing your area, putting, like, if you're going to be thrifting, I think you should have like a thrifting route that you do, like say it's just twice a week, 3 times a week. So knowing what your town has to offer, if you can keep growing the business with all the thrift stores that you have or estate sales, you know, figuring out your area and what it's going to take to make it in your area. If there's no thrift stores, then obviously you're going to have to go to estate sales and rely on estate sales and yard sales. So just knowing your area is very important, and building relationships within your area is also another very important thing.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I'll back up just for a second. You guys were talking about, you know, working your way out of debt, and that's what was my initial motivation when I started doing this. And I paid off like $15,000 in debt in the first year and a half, dude. I mean, it was pretty wild. I mean, there's no way I could have done that without having that hustle going, you know?
Yeah.
But it can be very lucrative, and you can get out of debt very fast, you know, with the right actions.
Yeah.
It's pretty
15,000.
Awesome.
Is that what you said? Did you say 15,000?
Yeah.
Wow.
Congrats. That's awesome.
It is.
Heck yeah.
I don't even remember what my debt was at. More like in the 30s, I think.
But that was me and my wife's together. I paid both of them off.
Okay. Yeah, we had freaking 2 cars, 2 motorcycles, and so I had to sell a lot of all the toys too, you know.
Yeah. Yep. So we mentioned earlier with shipping, you know, if you're not great at shipping, you can destroy your reselling business very fast. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
you learn real fast how to pack it. You know, I mean, I learned a lot of hard lessons the first year, you know, on packing. I mean, I was like, oh, it's good, it's good. Nope, it wasn't good, and I lost my ass on it. You know, well, it's a learning process. But yeah, that is one thing that will destroy your reselling business if you don't pay attention to it.
You're like have to learn. I mean, every item that you sell is a little bit different, so it's kind of, you know, you got to learn to pack all sorts of different things.
Oh man, it's pretty wild.
I like sticking the books and bubble wrap in a poly mailer. I'm good to go.
Yeah.
$20 and over, I'll give you a box.
Well, that's one of the benefits for, you know, those of you guys that niche down. You know, I mean, you already know what you're in for most of your shipping. For me, it's a mixed bag all the time with Ben, mixed bag, Shane, mixed bag. I mean,
Yeah.
we never know what we might have to pack up that next day.
Yep.
Yeah. I got another one is knowing when to pivot in business. So we're pivot. I mean, I'm always pivoting. It seems like every couple of months we have to change what we're doing. What I was doing, say 3, maybe 6 months ago, might not be working. So you got to know when to pivot and to make those choices. You know, you're the one in charge, so you got to make all those choices for your own business.
Yep,
that's true. I'm gonna cut, and this kind of goes along with the motivation thing a little bit, Alex, but keeping a positive attitude. A negative attitude, it's easy. It's super, super easy to fall into a negative attitude and have that space in your head. You get, you know, 1 or 2 returns, you know, a little too close together. It's going to upset you. You'll start having negative thoughts like, why am I even doing this, or whatever the case may be. You know, you get scammed or something. If you let that put you into a bad frame of mind and you're just thinking negative thoughts, it's going to kill your motivation. So try to keep a positive attitude. Not all sales are going to go the way of returns or scams or anything. You just got to understand that things like that are part of doing business in a retail setting, I guess. But keep a positive attitude, and it'll make it easier for you to stay motivated. I guess it's probably a better way to say it. So that kind of goes hand in hand with what Alex said about motivation. I feel. Because if you got a poor attitude, you're just, you know, pissed off, you're not going to want to do anything. You're not going to want to list. You're not going to want to do a dang thing.
You know, that really does ring true with a lot of things in life, right? The attitude, what attitude you have going into it. I mean, you wake up in the morning, you decide what kind of day you're going to have, right? I don't know how you guys are about that, but that's how I try to be.
I've got one, and this is kind of premature, but it goes under our segment of the stupid reseller mistake of the week. But it goes along with motivation, Shane, what you were saying. And I sold a baseball bat. He got it a couple of days later, messaged me and said, "You sent me the wrong bat. This is a youth bat." Well, I was like, oh, Lord, here we go. I mean, that was my fault because I was in a hurry when I was packing and I didn't clearly pay attention to the listing picture, packed the wrong bat, and I sent it. So I quickly messaged him because I respond within 24 hours. At least that's what eBay's tagline says that I do. But anyway, I said, hey, man, sorry about the mix-up. I'm going to ship the correct bat out to you free of charge, of course, and it'll go out tomorrow. So as soon as I sent that, 2 minutes later, he started a return. My intention was for him to keep that other bat. I had no money in it. Right. I didn't want him to start a return. That's like, look, I'll just make it right. I'm going to ship you the right thing and we're square. Don't worry about it. Well, he started the return. So those kind of things, Shane, like you were saying, weighs on you when you get that little notification, boom, return requested.
Yeah.
And I wanted to kick myself because it was my fault. And to me, that's worse than just getting a regular return for a legitimate reason. To me, when you do something that caused it,
it's your fault. Yeah.
It's your fault. It's my fault. It makes it worse in my mind. Yeah. So long story short, I explained to the guy, hey, dude, I wanted you to keep the bat. I'm going to send you the new one tomorrow, but now you've started a return. So now I've got to ship you a label and you've got to ship it back to me. And then I got to refund you. And then you'll need to go in there and repurchase the bat and da-da-da-da. And then 2 minutes later, canceled the return. And then he messaged me and said, hey, I canceled the return. I said, great. Keep the bat. I don't care what you do with it. Your new bat's coming out to you tomorrow. And that worked out. But the point of saying all that is, don't beat yourself up when you make the mistakes. We're human. We're all going to make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. It's going to happen. You've just got to learn to blow it off if you have a picture of the big picture in mind. What is the reason why you're doing this? Because returns are going to come and they're going to go. You'll get a return, but next day you might make 10 sales and might make $200 or $300. All of a sudden that return doesn't mean anything to you anymore.
Right.
That is true.
Yeah.
I just got a return on a digital camera, and then I sold 10 things today. So now I'm happy.
Yeah.
This is why I don't sell electronics. It didn't work. I took a risk, though. That's another thing in business. You got to take risks.
Chris,
You know?
fingers crossed that none of those digitals come back on you.
I know. Well, I fully tested them, but yeah, you're right. Fingers crossed. But yeah, go back to the bat, dude. I've done the same thing. I did one worse. I sold a $20 bat and I sent a $70 bat by accident.
Oh man.
You think that guy responded to any of my messages?
Nope.
Wow.
My items are fully tested as long as I put in the title, fully tested.
Yeah.
As far as my testing goes.
Well, I was looking at those cameras. So yeah, I found like these digital cameras I was sharing with Ben this weekend. There were two of the I don't even remember what the hell they were. The Sony's Cyber Shots, the little guys.
Yeah.
Two pink ones.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Odyssey, or I can't remember.
Olympus?
The, Infinity Stylus, whichever brand that is.
Yeah.
I'm not a
Yeah.
camera guy. Sorry. Anyway, they're all like $80 to $100 cameras. Anyway, all of them came with batteries and chargers. So I was able to charge up the batteries that held a charge, and then was able to take pictures in the listing of the camera showing us something, you know. So I feel pretty confident about it, but you know, you never know.
Yeah, the camera I got didn't have any cables or anything, so I had no way of testing it. I just got at the bins and took a chance. But
Chris, did you check those cameras to see if they had the SD cards, if any of them had SD cards in them?
Yeah, I always look through all the pictures first.
any good pictures?
No.
No.
You're always hoping for that nude or something, but you know, you really may not want to see it.
I found some pictures, like it was a ballet book at the bins, and I was flipping through it, and I found Polaroids, and Zoe's with me, so I'm like looking off the side, what is this? Some like chick like taking a picture like in her pose from behind in like her little suit. I was like, okay.
Okay.
I found one time at a thrift store. We have a Christian-based thrift store called His House.
Mm-hmm.
It's a local little mom and pop, but it's a Christian base. They raise money and help needy and stuff. But I was in there one day and found a photo album, and I opened it, and it was full of pictures. And there was one picture, and I posted this on the Instagram. I'll look for it in a second and see if I can find it. Some old dude posted up in the bathtub with like a glass of wine. And
Nice.
Like, whose grandpa is this? And that's exactly what I posted on Instagram. Who's
in the Christian store. That's awesome. That's hilarious.
I'll see if I can find it. That was hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Ugh. Yeah.
Here's a good one tip. You need to know the art of negotiation. So if you cannot negotiate, you're not going to be getting the best prices. So I think that's a huge part of this business. If something is $5 at a yard sale, should you pay $5 for it? No, you should pay 25 cents for it. With negotiate scales all the way down to 25 cents. It says $5. Right. I will pay 25 cents.
No, you're right about that though. I really had to, pay attention to that when I started when I first started really getting into this reselling, because, I'd see a good deal and buy it. And then, thinking, man, I probably could have got that like $5 cheaper. Man, you do that 20 times in a row. Now you got $100 in your pocket, right?
Yeah. Yeah. If you look at it that way, it never hurts to ask, I feel like maybe I'm going to sound like the old guy now. This generation kind of doesn't negotiate. Are you serious anymore?
Hold on, is that Woody? Oh,
that looks like Woody. He just needs to have a hat on.
I found that at the thrift store. It was literally just whoever donated their photo album didn't take any photos out, and I was like, "This is kind of cool. Let's flip
Whoops.
through." And I was like, "Wait
make
a
it a
minute,
postcard. Should make it a postcard. That's funny.
oh, that'd be great."
Oh my goodness sakes.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. If it's $5, you're only going to offer a quarter. Period.
Period.
I don't
Buy
know that,
low,
but-
sell high.
I only bring change to yard sales. Like I just pull out a big old bag.
It's got one of those big 5.
Most of the times they don't want to
water
count it, so they'll just say, "Just take it, just go."
You know what? There are subtle things. You guys probably do this. When you find an item and you're getting ready to go pay for that, already have the cash out where they can see it. But don't have your wad that you're carrying all day. Have out what you can give for it.
Yeah.
And say, listen, I'm on a tight budget. I'm here. I've got cash. This is what I can do. And let it be on them to turn you down. And they're like, most people are having yard sales to just get rid of this stuff. They're tired of it. They don't want it. Get rid of it. Put the pressure on them. Show the money when you're standing there. Say, this is what I can do on this. Would you be willing to take this? It's a psychological thing when they see the money.
I'm a jerk, so then I'll usually, like, if I get it for like $5 off, then I'll give them 100 and like, you got change for 100.
Oh, yeah.
After I get the,
I feel weird about doing
they
that.
accept the lowball offer and then give them $100 bill.
I don't even like being the guy that they want.
Funny.
They want 20 and I offer them 15 and they say, yeah, then I hand them a 20 for change.
20?
I'm weird about that too, man. But I'll do it. I'll be like, oh, I'm going to be that guy. I'll try to make a joke out of it. Like, oh, I'm that guy.
Well, if they say anything, you can say, this is my last $20 bill and I have to eat lunch today,
Yeah. Very true.
All right. What else we got?
That's what I had
Trying to
written
think of
down.
something.
Well, I
Nobody
mean,
covered.
how much you pay for stuff. I mean, that is what the key is really. I mean, how much profit do you stand to make on each item that you find, and how are you figuring out what it will sell for? Right.
So
like-
knowing your profit margins and kind of like,
I think I mentioned one time before is like, also like, how do you go about comping? Like, I mean, if we had one item here and all four of us comped it, it's a good chance that we'd come up with 4 different prices of what we would list it for. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe
I'd undercut you guys.
but like if we all had to write down on a piece of paper what we list something for, and show it, it'd probably all be different, man. Is my guess.
Yeah.
yeah.
At
Well,
least a couple of us.
That's kind of like knowing your numbers, obviously, but knowing your profit margins, like setting a standard for yourself. This is something that I always struggle with. I'll set like a standard, like a book. I want to only buy books that are going to at least sell for 15. And then I slowly start dropping down, and then I'll buy a $10 book. And then it's kind of a waste of time to sell a $10 item. At least for me, it is at this point, so I'm like upping it to $20 a book, at least $20 a book,
Yeah.
So knowing your numbers, what it's gonna take to get you to the next level in your business, right?
Right.
Yeah. And another thing would be, this is not a set it and forget it business. If you list an item today for, let's say, $30 and there's sold comps backing that up, that you can get that amount. Before you hit end and sell similar, if you do that every 30 days or ever how often, it's good to go back and review the latest sold comps, because the market changes on the daily practically in a lot of categories. So you want to be sure that when you go to end and sell similar and roll that item back out, you want to be sure you're still competitively priced and it didn't go up or didn't go down on you. If it goes up, and you're going to lose money in the comps, based on the availability of that item is on eBay. But if it's gotten flooded and the price has gone down and you're up here, you need to drop down and get more into the ball game as far as pricing.
Yeah. I see that happen with video games quite a bit.
Yeah.
One thing I can think of that does happen on quite a bit.
Yeah. Video games is, even the hats category is flooded. I mean, my gosh, you can get any kind of hat design you can even think of now.
I sold 3 hats this weekend.
Shane still sells hats
all on the
constantly.
same day.
I think I
Saturday.
sold 3.
2 of them were not good. They were like $6 hats, but it's like cannon fodder from the buyout that I did with excuse me, Happy and Grumpy Picker.
Mhm.
Some of them are really good hats and some of them are, okay hats, and 2 of them were okay hats. The third one was an $18 hat. I took an offer for 10% off, I think, roughly 10 to 12. But yeah, it sold for 18 plus shipping. It was a vintage Blue Jays hat.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all have any more points to share on this subject?
Just one more about knowing your money. You need to know how much money is coming in and coming out, so you don't overspend and like bankrupt your business pretty much.
Yeah.
So
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Like, because as me, like I've been home just listing. I have tons of stuff to list. I should not be going out sourcing and spending money when I could be listing to make money and keep spending it. So you got to know in this business when to hold back as well as to push forward, and then you should always have a nest egg, or say if you come across a big bulk buy, you should have that money there to make those big bulk, Well, at least I would say at least $1,000, maybe more dollars, just set aside for big bulk opportunities.
Absolutely.
'Cause
Yeah.
if you don't plan for that, then you're gonna miss out on that.
Yeah, it's a good idea to have a buy bank of some sort, something that every time you pull out of it, that's the first thing that gets replenished. That's kind of my model on that part.
So you just made me think of one that I hadn't thought of previously, and that's discipline. So you said, I got all this stuff I should be listing and not sourcing. So having the discipline, right, to put that in effect and say, I'm not going to source a page. 1 Foot Flipper spent 2023 without sourcing. He only listed from his death pile for an entire year. That's discipline.
Yeah.
But it falls into
before that.
Yeah. But it falls into everything to do with reselling, right? Discipline to get out and source, discipline to list when you don't feel like it, but you need to. That's discipline is a big thing.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about in the beginning with self-motivation. I might have used a different word than discipline. That's what I meant.
Same lines of what you were talking about.
Yeah, dedication. I think I said dedication, but you need to have the discipline.
Good points.
Yeah, even when you're sick, you still need to have the discipline to get your shit done.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be nice that the only reason why you had to go source is because you run out of items to list? You have everything listed, and you have to go sourcing to get new things to actually list.
Yep.
I do that quite a bit, actually.
I'm trying to get to that point where I could go
that's
to the
rare.
bin and come back and list what I got that day at the bins and keep it going, but
yeah,
I still have the death pile of books.
I had a list of stuff I didn't want to list, or a pile of stuff I didn't want to list, so I just sent it to Woody. No.
You know what? We ought to start a challenge this fall for us and for those that watch that want to participate, that we work through our entire death pile till you absolutely have nothing to list on eBay but your own toothbrush. That'll force you to blow through everything you've got sitting around and not source until you have everything listed. What do you think?
I'm down, and that's going to be hard to do just knowing the holidays are coming.
What happens to me? What happens to me is I'll list my items I'm most excited about every time I come back from sourcing, right? Yeah. And then I'll dwindle down dollar wise until I get down to like 20 and below, and I'm just like, I lose the motivation 100% on that part, and that's what turns into my quote unquote death pile.
Let me put it to you this way. We're in the middle of yard sale season. We're fixing to go to a friggin' bonanza of picks at Crossville 127. The stuff that we've been massing this spring and summer into early fall, once that season is over, we don't source anymore till we've listed everything that we can possibly list before we go source again.
Be interesting.
Yeah, I think you have the most, Ben. I feel like you have the most things to still list.
Well, it's kind of like, Shane, what Paige, you said Paige did. He listed for a year. Well, I'm not saying let's take a year and not source. I'm just saying let's just not source until we have everything that's laying around listed first.
Yeah.
Thing that qualifies.
Just a thought.
Right. That'd be fun, man.
I
don't really build up on my inventory. Sorry, Alex. I don't really build up on my unlisted inventory like that coming up on the winter, because out here the winter slows down, but it isn't, non-existent like it may be in some other areas. So I don't feel the need to stockpile, nor do I find enough stuff to stockpile like that. I mean, honestly, kind of crazy, But like when I go to the 127 this time, I'm gonna be traveling light, man. I'm gonna be looking for all those little big bangers,
You're gonna be shipping stuff back to yourself. Is what's gonna happen. I'm telling you.
Well, that's gonna happen.
He's gonna start selling figurines, like little knickknacks. Chris is gonna be a knickknack dealer for like 2 months after the 127.
Gonna load up on Boyd's Bears.
Knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone.
I got about 1-2 shelves of books I need to list. I've been staying home all week because I've been getting through all the book sets. I don't know. It's probably been almost a year since I did that big old online auction, and I finally just got to those books, and I still have probably 50 more books of that lot to get rid of.
We ready to move on to some segments, fellas?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
Let's go find of the week first. Find of the week.
It's not worth anything, but it's cool.
Oh, yeah.
It's for myself. I don't know. I just had to get it from the bins.
I love it.
In the trash can. Cool. I'm like, I got to get that. It's
freaking Oscars.
Yeah, it's dope,
man.
So that's for me. That's my find of the week.
He was my favorite growing up.
Yeah, it's cool.
Mine is mine's kind of silly. So first off, I got my new putter, y'all. My new putter that I won on Whatnot from Go to Golf is absolutely amazing. I played a tournament Saturday at the golf course. I think I lost my club at, or my putter at, and I got there early, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go inside and see if they have my putter. Maybe somebody finally turned it in. They had it, y'all. They had it.
Wow.
So I now have my old putter to list on eBay. So that's my find of the week. I got my putter back, which was amazing, but I won the goated golf putter, so now I don't need it. I'm going to sell it.
It's literally a find.
Yeah. Somebody, thankfully, I wish I knew who turned it in. But they didn't know. They said, yeah, we don't know who brought it in, but we did. I told them exactly what it was, what it looked like, and they were like, is this it? I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. Because I called them 2 days after I left it there, and they were like, yeah, it's not here. So somebody literally picked it up, played golf, didn't turn it in, but then returned at a later date and turned it in. And that's
maybe they started feeling bad. Like, maybe we should take this back.
Right. And when I find them, I'm like, let me look this one up and see.
That's a lost and found. That's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, that was super cool. That's my find of the week.
All right. Chris.
All right. Well, let's see here. I found these cameras. Ben, you've already seen this, but these are this is the camera lot that I picked up for $75. They actually had each camera marked $20 each. So I grabbed them all together and went up to the lady and asked her to take 75. She said, oh yeah, of course. So I get them home, and what was cool about it is that night I listed 4 cameras, and 3 of them sold within like an hour, and for a collective amount of like $230. So
sweet,
pretty sweet. That was the fast nickel that we were talking about.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Like I definitely could have got more out of them. Like I could list each one of those for $100, 110, something like that, and they would have gone. But I really did price them to sell. I was having a slow weekend. I'm like, man, this has got to go. Let's get it out. And it did. It's pretty awesome when you can kind of like call the shots like that and actually see it happen. Yeah. It's like, oh, these will sell. And they do. Boom, boom, boom. So that was the
nice. Fun. Cool. I guess it's my turn. Yep.
Yes, sir.
I went to a vintage toy show. It's the one that I go to. They have it in the winter, summer, and fall. And I bought a bunch of stuff, but I'm only going to show these.
You found a figure of yourself.
Yes. Well, you know something, brother? 14-inch posable ring giants, Hogan and Kurt Angle, and listed this one for 60 something. This one for $49.95.
Oh,
Paid $15 for both.
Those are cool.
And let me tell you what, fellas, you know, if you've gone to these collectible shows, most of the vendors are professional vendors, and all you ever hear when you inquire something, well, it goes for this on eBay, and blah, 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 blah. You get sick of hearing that. Well, this is two old ladies that look like they didn't belong at this show. I mean, they were
selling their late husband's collectibles.
Well, I don't know. I didn't get personal. They just didn't look like they fit, because most vendors are old men, guys my age or younger guys that are selling. And I walked up to their booth, and guess what? They were the only booth there, and there was probably 150 tables. They were the only vendor that I bought from because of their prices and the deals they made me. And I just filled up I wasn't there 20 minutes because I was like, dude, I've done shot my wad at this table. I ain't going to go fool with these other guys.
You took those two, and then you took the two ladies out on a date, and you guys all left together, huh?
Oh, come on. No, I mean, I'm serious. Brand new Xbox 360 system still in the box. Got it for $30.
New?
Yes.
New?
Look, wait.
Oh, I believe you. I was asking to clarify. Yeah, new. That's freaking amazing.
He definitely took him on a date.
Yeah.
He's like, you know, this figure is me, right? I can sign it for you.
Wow.
I know.
Man, did you comp that yet? That's awesome.
So, you know, I spent $130 at one table, and I was done.
How much for dinner?
Yeah. Lucky now the other vendors went in there and scooped it up when the meat started. That's what they do a lot of times, you know.
How many bingo cards did you pay for that night?
Bingo cards.
Oh my goodness. Sale of the week, gentlemen. Who wants to roll?
I got one. So I didn't. My wife finally listed one of those Disney clocks. And about three days ago, I put them up for $100. Got an offer this morning for $80. I let it simmer. I didn't touch it, and then they retracted the offer. Asked the question if it was tested. We put batteries in it. It completely spun around and it like plays songs. And then they bought it after wanting for $80. I was going to take $80 for it. I paid $10 for it, and then they rebought it for $100, full asking price for the Disney clock. Nice. So I still have 2 more to go.
Sweet,
man.
I remember when you picked those.
Say, how long have those been sitting? A few weeks? Month?
Like a month. And if it's not books, I don't want to list it. So I got my wife to come down here and list the things that I don't want to deal with. So now she's got to come back and list another one this weekend.
Nice.
All right, Chris.
Yeah, nothing crazy this week, but actually, Ben, you saw this too, man. This sewing machine.
Dude,
it's roached, but it's a Wilcox and Gibbs is the brand. And I dated it back to 1872.
Wow.
But yeah, I got it for $10. I found a comp on it that was rusty also that sold for like $100. So I listed it for $89.99 and it sold overnight.
You should have bundled that with the tetanus shot.
Hey, no, the guy actually had a special request. He's like, asked me to remove a piece. I'm like, dude, this thing is seized up. If you can see my my title, it says antique Wilcox and Gibbs sewing machine, rusty, stripped, seized, carcass parts. I mean, there's no question this thing is roached, you know.
Yeah.
That's a very vivid description, Chris.
You paid $10 for it, you sold for $89.99.
Yeah.
So I beat Chris this week. Yes. That's all I gotta say.
Good
I
job.
beat Chris. I'm gonna take the win. I want
take
the trophy.
Take it. You got the win, man.
Let's see.
I sold the Titleist T350 irons that I paid $800 for on Whatnot.
I didn't
Heck
get the
yeah,
win.
buddy.
Oh, wait a minute. You didn't get the win, Alex.
I quit.
I sold
Damn.
them. I sold them for $1,200. I wish the dude who bought them, he's local to me, literally 20 minutes away. I wish he would have looked on Facebook Marketplace first and reached out to me there, because he wouldn't have paid taxes and shipping. I wouldn't have paid fees. We'd have both been much happier people. So that sucks, but I'm happy that they're gone.
Well, hell yeah. So remind me, what'd you pay for them, and then what was the profit on them?
I paid $800, sold them for $1,200, but then after fees, I made, it was $140 in fees on
Right.
something that expensive. So
Absolutely.
that's why I wish Homeboy would have looked on Facebook Marketplace first.
Wow.
But yeah, so I mean, still not bad. I made money. Could have been better, but I knew I was willing to accept as low as $1,200 for
I
him.
mean,
And
yeah,
so when he sent the offer, I was like, you know what, done deal.
you still made like
So
probably 300 profit on that, didn't you?
maybe like 250, because it was, like I said, it was like 140 in fees. So
It's a good transaction, man.
made a few. No, I didn't make any money off of the shipping this time, because anything 750 or higher, they require a signature. So that little difference I would have made got eaten up in the $6 signature required fee or whatever.
Yeah. I
somewhere
think I
around
made
there.
my best off shipping this week was $8. I made off shipping.
Nice.
I sold a O'Neill Psycho 3 full body wetsuit,
Man.
and
Wetsuits can be really good.
only had $5 in it.
And yeah, people undervalue them too. Once they use them, that they undervalue them when they sell them.
Yeah. $5 investment, sold $114.82.
Oh yeah, that's awesome, boom.
Yeah, it was a large size. So
I have
Shit,
some
yeah.
wetsuits, but they're like not name brand. They're like XBO, so they're not really getting any traction on eBay. Beautiful sale. Let's see.
beautiful sale. Where can we go from here?
Well,
It's got to be one of those hats.
I got one. And this ties into my dumb reseller mistake. It's another DVD, Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning, sold for $5.66, promoted at 5% with free shipping. It's one of those things with the free shipping that I just forget to change all my DVDs. It was on sale because I have like 15% off right now. So, oh well.
All right, yeah.
All right.
So mine is one of the two hats that I was talking about. I thought they both sold for $5.99. I have a CNN cable news network embroidered baseball style adjustable hat that sold for $5 plus shipping. So, after all is said and done, I got $442, and if you break down the hat buyout, actually, I think this was in the hat buyout. If you break it down, I made about $2 off of that one completely, because I have about $225 each, or in each hat, out of the 120 that I bought, something like that. So, yeah, $2. But like I said, some of those hats are selling for $30-$40 a piece. So these little cheap $5 ones, I'm happy with that.
Yep. That's just cream on the top of it,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. The good hats are paying for the buy.
All right. Let me get mine up real quick here. This is one of those little mini NFL pennants. This is back in the early 80s. Sold $4.99, taxes, fees, shipping. I made $4.51.
Should have put free shipping on it.
All right, so this one hurt a little bit for a couple of reasons. First of all, I paid $12 for it. It's been in my store for a long time. I don't know how long, year and a half probably. I paid $12. It sold for $10. So the payout ended up being $4.60 after shipping. All right, so the worst part about this is I got a special request from the buyer and wanted me to include a handwritten note So I was like, I had to take extra time. I didn't have to, but I obliged the guy. You know, I honored his request and took care of the customer, as we were talking about earlier.
Good
It
customer
didn't hurt
service.
because I made zero money. I lost money on this sale. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was a loss, and I had to put extra work into it. So yeah, that was a stinker for sure.
All right.
You paid $12 for it. Were those selling for more at the time when you bought that?
It's a damn good question, Alex.
This goes back to negotiating.
Bad buy.
Another tip: sell-through rate. Did you check the sell-through rate or the sold comps? Knowing on where to look for the sold comps.
That might even be one of the learning buys. Definitely a learning buy.
Next segment, we're going to do the comment of the week. But I think, Shane, if you'll dig one, I'm going to thank our paid members at this time. Recognize our Skybox members, Wolfman Goodies, Chad. He's got a nice YouTube channel you need to go check out for sure. He's also a Skybox member. Also, we want to thank the guys over at the Trash to Cash podcast for being a paid member of this channel. Go check out their weekly podcasts here on YouTube. Flipping for Laughs, we want to thank him as well. He's been absent for a while. Glad to have him back. Thank you for being a paid Skybox member. And Mary McQueen, she is so dedicated to commenting and following and watching our shows and watching our channels. And so we want to thank Miss Mary for her support. And then Reselling with the Woodman. We want to thank him for not only subscribing to this channel, but also being a paid member as well. And don't worry, Woody, this episode will be uploaded for you to see. Just hold your horses. Then we want to get on to the MVP members. We want to thank Big Brother Mike Camparelli, who's joining us. He's joining us at the 127. I get a chance to pick him up from the airport when we head down to Crossville. Also, Keith, Vintage Sports Flips. He's got a great YouTube channel that I will be appearing on at some point next month. And I think Shane's already been on there. And looking forward to that, Keith. Tommy Bernard, Chris Moose, Daniel Rushing, Misty J, and Ito Rivas. We want to thank you guys for being paid members of MVP. And then Just a Tip member, Rick Rotman. We appreciate Rick and his support to this show as well. We want to thank all of our paid members. And if you have not become an official member of the Locker Room, Chris, tell them how they can do that.
Well, you can go to our channel and you'll see a join button. You click that, you'll have three options. You can join Just a Tip, like Rick Rotman. That's $1.99. You can join MVP, which is $5.99, or you can go Skybox for $9.99. And MVP and Skybox, they get access to our backstage videos that we upload, periodically, one or twice a month or whatever it is. We're trying to be better about it. And so yeah, go check it out. Join if you want. And enjoy the show.
And Skybox is the $9.99, which has got a lot more perks. But anyway, good job, Chris. All right. Go for it, Shano.
Comment of the week. I think my absolute favorite comment comes from Matt's Profit Pursuit, and he simply said, I think you need more people on the screen.
That's right.
But
it's true.
But that's not my pick for comment of the week. That's just probably my favorite because I love Matt, and that was just funny to me. But Larry Way Out says, super great guests. I've met Roman twice and Lissa once, have had multiple discussions in chat over the last 3 years, and both are such great people. Chris going first for best sell of the week is like letting Kiss open for your garage band. Now follow the fire-breathing, blood-spitting demon.
That's why I introduced him as the newest member of Kiss.
That's funny.
Well said.
And Chris, you look confused when I was introducing you and saying that thing. You ought to known it was off of that comment.
I wasn't even thinking about that comment. I responded to that a couple of days ago. I totally spaced it. I was like, what is he talking about?
Yeah.
That was good, though.
Well, I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate every one of you leaving comments to these shows. We all four get in there and read them and respond when we can. And
It's pretty rad.
it's pretty rad. Yeah. We love your all's participation in leaving your comments down below. And please continue to do so as we go forward. We want to drop this in, gentlemen, because the time is getting so close. Highway 127 sale. You've heard me say this a million times, especially over on my channel. August 2nd, Friday night at a shooting range. We never really did get into the details of where this meetup is, but it's at a shooting range. So if you're a fan of shooting guns,
is it going to be?
That's why there's no alcohol allowed, right?
Yeah, no alcohol at this event. No.
I don't think I realized that.
I didn't know that until just now.
Shooting range.
I knew about the alcohol. I don't think I realized it was a shooting range.
Well, the no alcohol makes sense now.
Yes.
No alcohol, shooting range. Don't bring your own guns, please. That wouldn't be advisable.
I'm not going.
But Friday night, it's pre-meet and greet, 4:30 to 6:30, followed by a meal. We got some giveaways. We've got an auction that's going to be benefiting charity. Everybody's going to be donating items to auction off, and you can get them to resell if you want.
Ben, you forgot to tell them we got the greatest DJ in all of Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
Slim Shady.
Yeah.
DJ B.
DJ B up in the house.
DJ Hulk Hogan.
Be spinning some tunes at the meetup. And but yeah, Thursday night is our bowling, the Reseller Locker Room bowling night. You can come to Plateau Lanes, and for less than $10, you can come in and bowl. And that money, you just go and pay it for your shoe rentals, your bowling ball. Come hang out with us guys. We're going to reserve some bowling lanes. Whether you like to bowl or not, come and join us, hang out. It's not going to be structured, trust me.
There will be alcohol there.
Yes, they do have a bar, a full restaurant, an arcade. Super nice place.
You could shoot.
You'll just have a good time. And then
$9, less than $10 to bowl.
Well, I'm working on that deal.
Holy
I'm negotiating.
cow. That's nothing.
I'm negotiating.
Oh, right on.
Yep. So yeah. Come and join us at the 127. Tickets are available on eventbrite.com. It's called Highway 127 Picking on the Plateau. That's how you'll find it on Eventbrite. Tickets are still available. However, the closest we get to the date, tickets start going. And once we reach capacity, you cannot come to this thing. I'm sorry, we won't have enough seating for it. So if you've not done it yet, get your tickets.
Yep.
And there you go.
In the after party
forward
in Shane's van.
to seeing you. I don't think the van's going to be ready, y'all. I had to fix my wife's car.
Yeah.
Did you get it? Did you get the AC fixed?
Yeah. Yep. She's back to running. So
Nice.
I had a golf tournament on Saturday, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to play if I didn't have her car running because she had shit she had to get done over the weekend. So Friday night, I was grinding.
There's that motivation.
Yep, exactly. Motivation. Drive Lindsay around town all day Saturday or go play golf tournament. Let's fix our car.
Oh my goodness. All right. Let's do this.
This is new. Oh, it is new.
Final word.
Final word.
Just final words. Just work.
Chris?
Well, final word. If you don't love reselling, you're not going to succeed in reselling. Period. That's my take on it.
Shane?
Yeah, just get out there and grind, y'all. Stay disciplined, stay positive, keep a good head on your shoulders, and you can make it work.
Very good. Very good.
Good message. And don't do drugs, kid.
Yeah. Not all of them.
Not all.
Well, here's
not the hard ones.
Here's my final word, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, number one, for joining us on this episode, number 39 of the Reseller Locker Room podcast. My name's Ben, Shane, Chris, and Alex. And remember, have your reasons why you're doing this business. And spit on that thing. We'll see you next time.